Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have a journalist with us. Doesn't perhaps look like an old journalist, but he's not that old yet. So we are very happy to have him with us. Right now, we have Rudroneel Ghosh. Let's listen to him. Over to you. Go ahead.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mathur. Thank you for having me here. Uh, so, just to begin with my brief introduction, I've been a journalist for about 17 odd years. 15 of those I've been associated with the Times of India. And in the Times of India, I am a senior assistant editor with the edit page of the Times of India. So essentially, I'm a leader writer where I write editorials every day for the Times of India. Also, my byline articles and byline pieces. I do interviews. I have had the good fortune, I should say, of interviewing some notable people from all over the world, including it just so happens to be today happens to be 1 year since I interviewed President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, and I was the first South Asian print journalist to interview him. So today happens to be exactly 1 year of that interview. And it's many people say that, like, that mainstream media, print journalism in particular, it's dying. I mean, and we are part of a dying breed. Which yes, I would say that there are definite challenges there, to the print media, our business model particularly. Also, with the advent of digital media and now AI, the way of working has changed a lot. It is changing quite fast. It will change even more in the near future. So yes, there are definite challenges, but I firmly believe that print media and traditional journalism still has a role to play, a significant role to play in our society. Because no matter how much of digitization you have, you need the reporter to go to the spot, to hit the streets, talk to people, and get stories out, which otherwise you can't do. And it's very important to invest in that infrastructure, of reporters and journalists who go on daily reporting, on daily beats, to get stories from the horse's mouth, so as to speak. So it's unfortunate that the print media is sort of declining, but it has to somehow reinvent itself and sort of make itself more appealing, especially to youngsters. And I actually, in my personal capacity, I also work with a school as sort of a mentor, and and I have been telling the kids in the school that why it is important, still important to read newspapers. Nobody reads, very few, let's say, very few children in school read newspapers these days. So, sort of, inculcating that habit in them, re-inculcating that habit in them is I think very important. And you can't also blame them because on one hand, they're born in an age where you have mobile phones and social media, which is not going away. I mean, it is a part and parcel of our lives. But and at the same time, there was a big hit to the learning of these children during the COVID years. And that was a huge setback, for schools and students. They were trapped in their homes. The only medium of communication was through social media, Zoom, online channels. All classes were held online. So that sort of really kind of pigeonholed them, and it sort of was a huge setback to their reading habits. So I've been trying in my own personal capacity to, like, talk to students, like, get them to sort of pick up the newspaper again and start reading. And why it is important to read newspapers, because obviously, because traditional newspapers have that accountability, which I don't think digital media can still offer. Like, we whatever we publish, there is accountability. There is a chain of journalists, editors who vet stories, and whatever is published is, like, you could say, 99% accurate. uh, this is how I'm trying to kind of get youngsters to pick up the newspaper again. But of course, it's not just like youngsters. I mean, even adults. Like, interestingly, a couple of months ago, I met a very nice couple at a social event. And when I introduced myself and I said that I'm a journalist with the Times of India, the first question they asked me was, is the paper still published?
Yeah.
So I was shocked. I mean, like, we still have a circulation of around 2 million copies, roughly around 2 million copies every day. But people think that after COVID, like, the physical newspaper, it has stopped being published. So this is the perception with respect to newspapers in society.
Mm,
So it's an uphill task to sort of revive newspapers. As I said, like, we have to reinvent ourselves. Get to the readers, encourage them to read newspapers, tell them why it is important to read newspapers, and I think there has to be a serious change in our revenue model as well. I mean, because as you know, that most of newspapers run on the advertisement based revenue model, which has been dwindling. I mean, since COVID, like, the revenues have been reducing across the board in print media. So we need to gradually switch to a subscription based revenue model, which is not easy again, because everyone wants news to be delivered to them either free over the internet, or very cheaply. But, like, of course, like, collecting news the traditional way, that through traditional journalism, costs money. Uh,
We had an internet glitch. We missed about 15-20 seconds. Now we are back. Rudroneel will restart. I think he's talking about subscription-based model. So let's go ahead.
Right. Sorry about that glitch. So, yeah, as I was saying that, like, I think ultimately, like, we have to move to a subscription based model rather than a revenue, advertisement revenue based model, because that's the only way that, newspapers can subscribe. I mean, that's the only way that newspapers, I'm sorry, can survive. And we need to move to a subscription-based model. And there are experiments going on in this domain. I mean, there are different newspapers who are trying this out. And also, I think even some foreign media is also sort of, looking at a subscription-based model to sustain themselves. So yeah, it is challenging, but, like, at the same time, I think traditional journalism is also, like, very, very rewarding. And as I mentioned that I have been able to. I was fortunate enough to interview and meet some noted personalities because of my profession, and I was able to get their voice across to my readers. And at the same time, like, I have been able to also, let's say, gently help, people in need. And there have been, like, a couple of cases which, I think, if the media had not highlighted, they wouldn't have got the kind of attention that they did. And they were we were able to kind of direct help towards them. One such case I would like to mention here, where I had a small role to play. was the case of this very young Bangladeshi boy, Badul Farazi. Now, Badul Farazi was very, very interesting case, and also very tragic at the same time. He was a young Bangladeshi boy, like, who had come to India on valid papers. He had like a valid visa and a passport and everything, and yet he found himself embroiled in a murder case, and he was sentenced by the lower courts for murder. And although the evidence was very, very weak, in fact, when I first came across the story, and someone from legal aid approached me saying that, here's this case of this young Bangladeshi boy. That time he was just maybe 12 or 13 years old, who would come to India on valid papers, but like, he's been, sentenced for murder. And so I started digging into that, and then I realized that he wasn't even in the country when the actual murder took place. And because all the documentation, everything showed that he was in Bangladesh when the murder had taken place in Delhi. So, but and it the case went on for many years, and I wrote about it. Then the other newspapers also kind of picked up the story, and eventually, what happened was that there finally there was a lot of kind of like a small civil society movement that happened around this case. There were some civil society activists who read our stories and said that we would like to help, we would like to petition the authorities, collect signatures for Badul Farazi's release, because we believe that he's innocent. And then ultimately, because of all these efforts, Badal Farazi was repatriated to Bangladesh. He was one of the first cases of repatriation after India and Bangladesh had signed the transfer of sentenced prisoners agreement. So it took us many years. I mean, all this took us at least like 7 to 8 years, but we kept up. We kept pursuing the story. I wrote several reports, several articles. Other newspapers picked up the story as well. And but finally, we were at the end of it, like we were able to kind of do some good. So I think this kind of traditional journalism still has a value, like as compared to, let's say, digital journalism, where you're only looking for hits and clicks, and a story has a
Yeah,
shelf life of maybe a few minutes,
yeah.
not even hours. So it's I think in that sense, traditional journalism has that value. Like it can make a difference. It really can. Yeah.
We had another minor glitch, but we are back. So, Rudroneel, please continue.
Right. So as I was saying that the Badal Farazi case, where I would like to say that I had a small role to play in helping highlighting that case. It showed the value of traditional journalism. And also, like, a more recent case was that of one Indian lady, Ikra Jamal. She, unfortunately, again, her story is quite something, because, she actually married an Afghan national. And, she had gone to Afghanistan in July 2021 to be with her husband, and her husband was supposed to be posted to the Afghan embassy in New Delhi. And in August 2021, the Taliban took over. And the husband, for him, it became a huge security risk, because he was sort of associated with the previous regime. And because he was almost sort of being transferred to the Delhi embassy, so he had to sort of go underground. And Ikra Jamal, like, she who was in Kabul at that time, She tried to, get out. What there were, if you remember, there were these emergency flights which were organized by the Indian government. However, like those were very chaotic times. The Kabul airport was like overwhelmed. There was a lot of firing. There was a bomb blast. And she couldn't make it on to the last emergency flight, and so she was stuck in Afghanistan. And again, someone told me about her case, a mutual, a mutual acquaintance. Actually, he was also a journalist who informed me about the case. And and when I spoke to Ikra, like, this was in April 2022. So she was like desperate. She was desperate for help, and because at that time she was also pregnant. So she was pregnant in Taliban's Afghanistan. This is April 2022. Things are really bad. There is COVID. So I again, when I came across her story, I tried to highlight it as much as possible. I wrote about it. There again, after it was published in Times of India, other newspapers picked it up. And again, slowly, sort of, there was a kind of a movement to help her. And I think her case was flagged at the highest, corridors of the Indian government. And finally, earlier this year, in February this year, they found a way to, kind of bring her and her daughter, who was born in Afghanistan. They found a way to sort of bring her back to India. Her husband, unfortunately, is still there in Afghanistan, but she at least was able to come to India with her daughter. So these are like small like cases that show the value of traditional journalism. And at the same time, I think it's like because we are living in increasingly interconnected world. It's very important to know what's happening in different parts of the world. And whether it's like not just like current affairs, but also like advances in technology. AI, for example. Now AI is the next big revolution, so as to speak. But like people still are kind of grappling with how to deal with AI. Like what are the models that should be followed? And there are different approaches. And the youth in India, I think, because they know that they have to get into AI. The government also believes that AI should be integrated, and AI education should be sort of improved. But how to go about it is a big question. So I was in Estonia earlier this year, and Estonia is a leader when it comes to tech and digital technologies, and they have a very interesting approach. Like so they are saying that, look, we are going to teach everyone AI, no matter they are students or senior citizens, because look, you have to embrace this technology. It's better that we embrace it now. We understand what it is, how to operate with it, how to live with it. Then sort of kind of try and avoid it or put it off, and then later you end up with the problems, dealing with the problems. So Estonia, right now, as we speak, is conducting a nationwide AI program, AI education program. It's going to happen over 3 months, and they are going to teach AI. They have signed contracts with different AI service providers, and they're going to teach AI in classrooms, in night schools, to senior citizens, like how to what is AI, how to deal with it, how to protect your data. That's very big part of AI literacy. How to protect your data, how to ensure that your data is not stolen or data is not mimicked. So this experience in Estonia, it should be shared. I mean, it should be shared, and it should be studied as a model of how we can approach AI in India. So different things are happening in different parts of the world, and it's important to sort of know what's happening out there, and how to kind of tailor that for your own needs here. So that I think, again, like traditional media can play a good role in sort of highlighting those things, and in long form explaining what is happening, and like how we can benefit possibly from these models across the globe. uh, and of course, what even in terms of current affairs, like what happens in one part of the world has a huge impact in other parts of the world. I mean, I mentioned that today is the exactly 1 year since I interviewed President Zelensky of Ukraine. I actually last year was in Ukraine. And I was there when Prime Minister Modi had made his visit to Ukraine, and I saw for myself, like the situation on the ground with air raid sirens. Where now they are facing air raid sirens every day. It's a daily thing, and how the people are trying to cope. The schools have had to sort of adapt to this situation. Civilians have had to kind of work around air raid sirens, and staying without electricity for long periods of time. Right now there's winter in Kiev, and which it gets very cold, obviously, and without elect and because their energy infrastructure is being targeted, so they are having to do without electricity for long hours of the day. And so it's terrible condition. It's the fourth year of the war, but at the same time, the resilience of the people is such that, like there's a lot of innovation which is also happening. And this is the story which maybe doesn't get reported so much. The kind of innovation that the Ukrainians are doing in terms of not just tech, but also, like workarounds. How to kind of manage the electricity systems with the decentralized power units. How to kind of ensure that farming happens even in the midst of war. Like they're using drones for farming. For there's a fantastic Ukrainian project where there are farmlands which have been mined by the Russians, and so it's impossible to farm there. So this initiative, they are using drones to do bee farming. They use the drones to kind of sort of set up these apiculture units, and they transport the bees, they extract the bees using drones. So this is all this innovation is happening alongside the war. So there is so this the, it was so this kind of stories which may not always give you clicks, you know which is what digital news platforms are after. I think traditional media is in a better position to highlight. So these are the essential, I think, the benefits of traditional media, and sticking to traditional media and investing in traditional media. Of course, I can talk about the geopolitical situation right now in the world, because that's my area. I mean, in fact, in the Times of India editorial page, I look after geopolitics and foreign policy. And the geopolitical situation is also, like it's going through as you know, a very unpredictable phase. The old structures are crumbling. New structures haven't yet been formed. So this is something that kind of needs to be looked at closely. And we see what's happening in the US. We see what's happening with the UN. So it's something that needs to be kind of monitored closely. And maybe we need new structures of international governance, to replace the ones which are not working anymore. Obviously, like the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza has shown the limits of the UN and the existing international systems. So perhaps there is a need to reimagine our international architecture. And also important is the voice of the global South, which is becoming increasingly prominent. Countries like India today have a much larger influence and much larger say in international politics than what was the case in 1945 when the UN was formed. So that is something that creates a lot of opportunities and a lot of challenges. And for India, I say that, like, we have a limited period of time wherein which to take advantage of these opportunities. I think maybe we have at the most 10 to 20 years, to realize these opportunities, to realize a demographic dividend, and because after that, our population will start plateauing, and maybe the global axis of growth will shift elsewhere, perhaps to Africa. So this is something which needs to be looked at closely, and and we need to kind of accordingly make policies, accordingly create opportunities for our young people, so that they can benefit. So, so that's the geopolitical situation. That's my reading, at least, of the geopolitical situation that we are seeing at the moment, right? And in terms of our neighborhood as well, like, we need to kind of reimagine our relationship with our neighboring countries, because like societies are being transformed everywhere because of the advent of digital technologies. So our relations with neighboring countries also have to be reimagined because of the impact of all these digital changes in society. So all those factors need to be looked at closely, and not through the prism of just clickbait journalism and clickbait analysis. So we need more deeper analysis of the changes and the shifts in global geopolitics that is happening today. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rudroneel. It is very good to hear that print journalism is still alive and thriving. I, of course, support it. But I'm old, so it's hardly news that I would support it. But I'm so glad to hear you talking about things in a dynamic, lively way. It's not like, okay, I just stood on the street corner, observed the news, and wrote it, okay? Or I was at the
Right.
event, I just took notes and I've reported it. This is not news reporting. This is trend reporting, I would call it. Trend
Right. Right.
Trend reporting. So trend reporting is very important, and if you miss the trends, then you are just living in the next half hour. That's no use, because, as you
Right.
rightly said, the structures are crumbling. We have to reimagine our neighbors, and I don't want this to be my talk show, but this is,
Right.
I'm trying in my with pet channel. There is a clear idea that I don't even use the term South Asia, that all the Desi countries are welcome. So
Right.
I find South Asia a term that has no resonance for anybody who's a Desi. South
Right.
Asia,
Right.
South Asia is geography. Desi is what we are, right? And if we, so I
Right.
had people from Bangladesh, people from Pakistan, people from Nepal, because I tell the young people that, look, just as you meet your friends in college, today the digital college is everywhere. Why don't you
Right.
see your young counterparts? Don't agree with them, don't disagree with them. They're just your college classmates, they are your fellow youths. Let's have this as a Desi channel. It's not very successful because the, what should I say, the prejudices are being built. I've had zero luck with Sri Lanka. zero luck with them.
Right.
Okay. The
Right.
Bhutanese, no matter what I have done, they in the end they give some reason not to show up. And Sri Lanka, though I have a long list of people who are connected to me, friends, this and that, no luck. So this is the sad state of affairs in our neighborhood, that they don't even want to risk it. Nobody wants to be the first. In their mind, the
Right.
thinking
Right.
is, who's done it before? The answer is, I can't even get the first. So
Right.
we do need to rethink our relations with our neighbors. And uh, let me say it in this way: we are the gold medalists, right, in our region, but we need to be leaders. Leaders are more than
Right.
gold medalists. Gold medalists don't care what's coming behind. They are behind. Leaders, they need to know their followers.
Absolutely. I
Uh,
completely agree. I
so
completely agree. And
we are taken by surprise. We are taken by surprise. We didn't see the Taliban taking over. We didn't see what is happening in Pakistan. We didn't see what's
in
happening
Nepal.
in Bangladesh. Right? We didn't see the collapse of Sri Lanka. We are taken by surprise. Why?
Right.
Because we don't pay attention. The young
Right.
people
Absolutely.
don't.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so if we want to be leaders in our region, we need to know our region. And
Absolutely.
we need to build the and I created my own acronym. It's crazy. It's called BIBSNAP. I said, forget South Asia. I'll call this BIBSNAP countries: Bangladesh, India, uh, Burma, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Afghanistan, Pakistan. We are BIBSNAP. We are not SARC. We are not South Asia.
Yeah.
Either we are Desis or we are, as I said, BIBSNAP. Okay. We need to be our own region, but we are not, because India is ready to be a gold medalist, but is not a leader. They have no interest in leading the other countries. Okay, if they're falling apart, they're falling apart. And then suddenly we see the person we call as the failed marshal appearing for a lunch in the White House. Okay. What is failed about him? We can't get a lunch in the White House easily, right?
Right.
But the
Right.
failed marshal is called as the favorite field marshal. Now I can say, oh, the US is against us. Guys, everybody's against you, right? We can't go on like
Right.
this where everybody's against you, right? We can't.
Right.
Uh,
No, and this approach needs to change, because if we really want a high table at the highest echelons of international geopolitics, if you're serious about let's say permanent membership to the UN Security Council, this comes up again and again, that is India capable of actually leading?
right,
Because yeah, we are yeah, more interested in, as you said, in sort of programmatically taking sort of benefiting from the existing system. But we are not interested. Are we really interested in leading? Because that is a different quality altogether. and
correct.
and
That's
and and so therefore, even though we aspire to be taken seriously at the international level, and of course we are being taken seriously, but we want to be permanent member of the UN Security Council, and we want to be among the big boys, so as to speak. Then we need to also take responsibility and leadership. We have to kind of lead. We have to show that we are able to lead.
right.
And so that needs a qualitative shift in our mindset, which has to happen if we are to kind of realize that goal. So yeah, so
Well,
that's why, yeah, I go back to the war in Ukraine. I mean, our position on the war in Ukraine is neutral. That's the official position. Well, fine. I mean, there are many countries who have taken that position, but the point is that if you are neutral, that means you're not taking a position either way, and hence, are you actually uh, capable of leading?
Yeah,
That's the question that keeps coming up again and again at international fora. So this is where things are at, actually, that we have to change our mindset. And like, as you rightly mentioned, that, like, uh, instead of seeing ourselves as gold medalists, we need to start seeing ourselves as leaders. And leaders means that you have to kind of actually know your neighbors, you have to know your partners, you have to learn how to work with them, genuinely work with them. So that is a completely different skill set.
correct.
So yeah. So this is actually what we need, and we have a very, as I said, a very small window.
Yeah,
We have about, like, 10 to 20 years in which to kind of achieve this, to make this happen. After that, we'll again, miss the bus. We missed the bus when it came to, the industrial manufacturing revolution. China was able to take advantage of that. We were not able to take advantage of that. So we'll miss the bus if we don't take the advantage of the next 10, 20 years, and genuinely start leading, with our neighboring countries, with our partners, and start taking positions, clear positions, like, this neutrality and non-alignment, and my interests first, doesn't always really work, you know so so we have to figure that out as a nation. We have to figure that out as a people also, because AI is, as I said, is it's the next big thing. But can we actually lead that revolution?
yeah,
you know what is India's approach? you know do we want, like, open systems? Do we want, like, the Chinese way of approaching the AI and digital technologies, which is much more controlled and closed? So these are the deep important questions that need to be worked out, both at the level of the government and also civil society. And accordingly, we need to kind of prepare our youth, because right now, as I see it, like, the youth is, yeah, they know they have all these opportunities, but to kind of actually realize those opportunities, they really don't have the tools right now.
right.
Like, our education system is not really equipped to deal with AI, or make our students ready for the oncoming AI revolution. So we need to kind of work these things out, and really think deeply about them. The only way that we can make these changes is through, I think, a national determination. That, look, I mean, these are core issues on which all there has to be an all of government approach, all of society approach. So that kind of thinking needs to be sort of inculcated. Without that, I see that us missing the bus again, and which will be a real shame. A real shame for India and for our people. And so we have to, like, get our act together in the next 10, 20 years.
Okay, okay, Rudroneel, thank you so much. I'm very happy that you came and you told us all your views, which are wide-ranging. It's not just print media. You have a view of the world and you're telling us how India should be in that world. So thank you. I do want to talk to you
Thank you.
offline. So let's end this here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Till then, bye everybody. Hang on, okay? Don't go away.
Thank you. Thank you so much.